And hello, welcome to Open, the one and only show that opens the Bronx and the rest of the world right to you. I am Daren Jaime. Today, we'll update you what's happening in and around our borough in New York City. Coming up, we'll discuss an organization contributing to research and program grant funding for childhood cancer. Following that, we'll explore a college program that is providing students with intensive training in English, math, and college success skills. Later on, we'll talk about how a farmer's market is promoting wellness initiatives, raising awareness about some serious health issues. And as Mother's Day approaches, we'll sit down with a lifestyle expert who'll share some insider tips to make Mom's Day just a little extra special. So stay tuned because all this much more is heading your way. Right now, we're officially open. And hello, everyone. I'm Daren Jaime, and you're now watching Open, a live program bringing the Bronx and New York City straight to you. We also want to welcome our viewers to the Manhattan Neighborhood Network, as Open is being broadcast simultaneously on MNN's channels. You can stay connected to us on all of our social media platforms at BronxNet TV. Some things have been going on through the past week. We'll take you through it with our Bronx updates. And we start with transportation news. It is official. Starting June 30th, congestion pricing will be implemented in New York City. Motorists driving into Manhattan below 60th Street will face a $15 baseline toll. Now, despite ongoing lawsuits in New York and New Jersey, the program is scheduled to commence 1 second after midnight on June the 30th. Once initiated, it's estimated 100,000 fewer vehicles will enter the congestion zone daily, significantly improving traffic conditions. Now, to learn more about congestion pricing, sign up for an Easy Pass New York account, explore discounts on exemptions on the website. In other news, several organizations and lawmakers gathered to raise awareness for support for animal welfare initiatives. Our BronxNet reporter Chris Camilla was there with more details.
To kick things off this week at the New York State Capitol in Albany. Here at the Legislative Office Building, animal rights advocates and organizations are convening to urge their state lawmakers to pass legislation that will protect animals and ensure their well-being. A gathering of advocates, nonprofits, and hospitals are participating in another installment of the State Capitol's annual Animal Advocacy Day. The scene is set with displays of vendors from across the state, each sharing their vital work in supporting animals and promoting welfare initiatives. Through the hallways, esteemed organizations like the ASPCA, Cornell Veterinary Hospital, and more are showcasing their dedication to animal care and expressing what makes their work and companions so worthwhile.
To have a place to have these guys isn't easy. They have such a deep soul. You look into their eyes and it's just, they're so empathetic with people.
Now, New York State Animal Advocacy Day is already sponsored by 2 senators and 2 assembly members. However, by the end of today, organizations and advocacy groups are hoping to get more people on board. Passerbys engage with vendors, learning about the crucial work being done to protect and support wild and domesticated animals across the state. New York Senator Michelle Hinchey, a passionate animal lover and champion of animal welfare bills, is one of 2 co-sponsors for this event.
We're very focused on making sure that we have a legislature that is pro-supporting our furry friends and making sure that all of our animals are protected across the state.
Her commitment to creating legislation that prioritizes animal well-being is evident in her efforts to push vital bills, which Senator Hinchey is optimistic about securing a unanimous vote in favor for. One such bill focuses on preventing animals from being left behind during home moves, a heart-wrenching issue that often goes unnoticed. The atmosphere is vibrant with a sense of unity and purpose among those in attendance today. A potent reminder that animals deserve care, compassion, and protection just as much as people do.
There has to be a mindful balance, in my opinion, between what people need for their society and what's overdevelopment and not cautious planning so that they don't interrupt wildlife.
Reporting from BronxNet, I'm Chris Pamela.
That'd be really nice having the pet right there, bringing you the news, but it's just me today. All right, well, thank you, Chris. In education news, the U.S. Department of Agriculture introduced new standards for school meals. Now, the significant changes reduce sodium and sugar levels in breakfast and well as lunch. Starting next year, certain items like breakfast cereals, yogurt, and flavored milk will have specific limits on added sugars. By the school year 27-28, added sugars in school meals cannot exceed 10% of weekly calories. Sodium levels will also decrease by 15% in lunches and 10% in breakfast by the same time. These guidelines mean fewer processed foods and more fresh produce in school meals, promoting healthier eating habits amongst children. Well, that's all the time we have for our Bronx updates. We are taking a quick break, but guess what? We got more open when we return.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Kat from the Kitty Rose Lifestyle, also from The Next Chapter, where we discuss shades of gray every week right here at BronxNet, Saturdays at 11 p.m. Wow, 30 years. 30 years of BronxNet public access television. I'm a girl from Brooklyn and came to the Bronx 25 years ago, started my journey on BronxNet on public access television in 2016, and BronxNet is where I got my start. BronxNet, I feel like, is a home away from home. They support all of my endeavors, and I wouldn't have been able to be on any of the other channels if it wasn't for the fundamentals that I learned right here at my start here at BronxNet. So I am so appreciative. My son says I should stop telling people I'm from Brooklyn because I've been here now, Bronx strong, for 22 years. So I'm so grateful, and I wish you much success in 30 years, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30 more, because public access is necessary so that people like myself can have a voice. Yes, BronxNet, it's your girl Kat from Kitty Rose. Check me out every Saturday at 11 p.m. right here, Channel 68, The Next Chapter, where we discuss shades of gray. Mwah.
And we are back. Every 36 minutes, an American child is diagnosed with cancer. Despite the fear surrounding the disease, there's reason for hope. Thanks to advancing treatments, over 85% of children diagnosed with cancer now survive for 5 years or more. Since 1998, the not-for-profit organization Hope on Wheels has been contributing to research and program grant funding. Join me now, we've got the president, or I should say the board member of Hope on Wheels, Kevin Reilly, and then also 11-year-old cancer survivor, Raynie Clark. And thank you both for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Daren, thank you for having us.
Hey, glad to have this conversation. And so, Kevin, it's got to be a great feeling, first of all, for Hope on Wheels really to be able to participate in the lives and really help in the lives of those affected by cancer.
Well, Daren, yes, it's a wonderful feeling. If we think about what started in 1998 as something so small and what we've grown into over 26 years. So every time a Hyundai is sold, Hyundai dealers and Hyundai Motor America, we put our money together, and that money goes to Hyundai Hope on Wheels to fund pediatric cancer research grants. And in our 26-year history, this year will surpass $250 million in pediatric cancer research and program grants. And this year alone, we're going to donate $26 million in grants. So great feeling, and we're really honored to have this impact.
Yeah, let's stay on that for a minute. $250 million donated this year. What's that like for the organization?
Well, it's tremendous for the organization because one thing that I've learned over my 26 years with Hyundai Hope on Wheels is how research is so critical to unlocking those cures for pediatric cancer. And so I've met researchers all across the nation, and what I've come to know is there's no shortage of brilliant researchers, but there is a shortage of funding. And so when we put money into the hands of those researchers, they can take risks, explore new avenues, they unlock cures for pediatric cancer, and save lives like Raynie here.
Yeah. And Raynie, I'm glad that you're with us. Tell us a little bit about, your fight and the cancer that you're dealing with.
So when I was 6 years old, I was diagnosed with ALL, acute lymphoblastic leukemia. How we found out was my mom took me to the doctor because I wasn't feeling too well. We were drawing labs, and I fainted. So they rushed me to the emergency room. We did they brought back the test and told me I had cancer. So they life-flighted me to Primary Children's, where I was treated for 2.5 years. I was in remission April 2021 at the age of 8 years old.
Well, amazing, Raynie, and thank you for sharing a little bit of your story. And I know, Kevin, it's got to be for you seeing Raynie and other countless lives, the impact of really being able to have donations and see these donations go to help further survivorship.
No, absolutely. I mean, you make an excellent point there. And I mean, not only are we funding pediatric cancer research to prevent cancer and cure cancer, but also survivorship is important. You noted that over 85% of children survive pediatric cancer, and certainly we're not going to stop until that number is 100%. But we would say, hey, what does life look like after cancer, right? And so those survivorship grants fund critical programs such as nutrition, counseling, and other things to make life after cancer for children like Raynie that much better.
Yeah. So Raynie, what's it been like? I mean, being diagnosed is one thing, but then also having to deal with it from day to day. How's your health and how are you dealing?
My health's good, and I'm really good now. When I had cancer, it was a little rough, but I always remembered it takes both sunshine and rain to make a rainbow. But you have to remember that the rainbow might not be as bright as you hoped, but in the end, it's still a rainbow.
You're stealing hearts, Raynie. I need you to know you are stealing hearts. Thank you. Listen, Kevin, I want to ask you about the changes, because as we've seen time morph, things have happened. But what advances have you been able to see, and what changes have you been able to see for the better since we've been talking about this here?
Well, over 26 years, one of the things that I've personally seen and I think is wonderful for children is the treatment methodologies that hospitals are using across the nation, less invasive ways to treat cancer, like HIFU technology, which is high-intensity focused ultrasound. And so, we talk about life after cancer, so the treatment methodology is very important, and that's one of the advances that we've seen and we funded here at Hyundai Hope on Wheels.
Yeah. And so for people who want more information, what's the best way to go about it?
Well, the best way is to go to HyundaiHopeOnWheels.org. You'll learn all about what we're doing to fund pediatric cancer research and also survivorship grants. But they're really going to enjoy learning about Raynie Clark, our National Youth Ambassador, and Emily Cole, and learning about their stories and being inspired about how they overcame cancer, and learn what a wonderful dancer you are.
Yeah. And Raynie, what do you want people to know as your message goes out there? What do you want people to know?
I want them to know what I said earlier. It takes both sunshine and rain to make a rainbow. And the rainbow might not be as bright as you hope, but in the end, it's still a rainbow, and you can always find help.
Yeah. Well, you make sure that Kevin buys you a big lunch for standing up here and talking to us like this. You definitely earned it today. And for people who want to donate, Kevin, obviously, there's a way that they can go on and do that. Let's share again.
Yeah, certainly just go to HyundaiHopeOnWheels.org and you'll find all that information in terms of how you can help fight and win the battle against pediatric cancer.
Yeah. Well, we want to thank you both for joining us, and really great conversation. And Raynie, thank you for sharing your story a little bit with us. And Kevin, for the great work that's going on. Hyundai Hope on Wheels, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daren.
All right, take care. Kevin, Raynie, be good. All right, listen, now if you want more information, visit the website at HyundaiHopeOnWheels.org. We encourage you don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Open right after this.
Hello, BronxNet. Happy 30 years. 30-year anniversary. Boy, that went by fast. And also, my 10 years here at BronxNet has gone by even faster. I have a show called Just Give Me the Mic. My name is Deborah Coco, and I just love everything about BronxNet. What I've learned here, I've actually taken my studio production class, my field production class, and doing a show here has opened up so many avenues for me. It led me to acting and meeting some incredible people. I've been hosting and just having an incredible ride. So I still love coming to the studio and having my face-to-face interviews just like it was day one when I came into the studio. BronxNet has opened up so many opportunities for people within our community. But nonetheless, happy 30th anniversary, and keep on helping people to create their own dreams within the media industry.
And we are back. CUNY Start, an intensive, affordable semester-long program designed specifically for Bronx Community College students who need to enhance their proficiency levels in math and English before you get ready to tackle those college-credited courses. Here now, sharing more, is the director of CUNY Start, Dr. Pamela V. Eatman-Skinner. And thank you so much for being with us, Dr. Eatman-Skinner.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
No, glad to have this conversation. I think it's important because many times for somebody that's approaching college, there's that tension, that fear, that angst, and just may not be ready. But this program gives students an opportunity to really get a foot in the door before they even hit the college courses.
Absolutely. So often students have that trepidation and they don't know where to begin. And coming through a program like CUNY Start can stabilize you in terms of the math, English, and also the college readiness, which is really key, because if you're great at math and English, that's one thing, but if you don't have the college readiness skills to help you to be successful, that's quite another.
Take me through a little bit of what a student will be able to embark upon if they decide to take part in this program.
So students that come to CUNY Start I love CUNY Start, first of all. It's a great opportunity. They become proficient in English or math, and within that context, they have the college readiness that I spoke about. The process is generally one semester. So the student, before they go to their college classes, so this is in the pre-matriculation stage, so they're able to shore up those skills, not only with the subjects, but be able to have an intensive opportunity to work with advisors, instructors, tutors, campus resources. So it's really a holistic approach to education.
And that holistic approach is really paying off, because I think, getting some help going in the door really makes a difference when you sit in that class for the very first time, and it's kind of like reality hits. So what's it been like on the part of students? What are you hearing?
Well, we have such a diverse student body. So for instance, last semester, we had a student that was 72 that came back to college after going to the military, an erudite, wonderful man. And he said, I raised my son, I did what I needed to do, but I never got a chance to get that coveted college degree. So we have students like that, or parents that come back, after 10 years, or GED students that were able to pass and say, I want that college degree, as well as first-year freshmen that come out. So we have a diverse range of students that come to CUNY Start, but what brings us together is that meeting of the minds in terms of the basic skills, and making sure that students can walk into college really being ready, really feeling confident. You're going to have the nerves no matter what in that first day, but when you know you have the tool set and the skill set to be able to achieve, it's really gratifying.
And for somebody who's thinking about doing this, obviously there's a fee attached, but it's really not, it's accessible.
It's absolutely accessible. You will never pay more than $75 a semester. It's a tremendous opportunity. I know we don't have a long time, but there's so many things that students can take advantage of. Never more than $75. And during the summer, it's $35 to become proficient. And you can save those coveted financial aid dollars for when you're on the matriculated side of the house. So your money goes further. You're able to get the strength that you need. we've added, we continue to innovate. There's Career Start and many different things that go into the CUNY Start opportunity now.
So let me ask the question, if somebody's out there right now saying, listen, I'm thinking about it, but I don't know whether or not I'm actually eligible, who's actually eligible for application?
So when a student applies to Bronx Community College, to CUNY, they receive a proficiency level. So that helps us to see a formula that says based on your high school grades and a couple of factors, we can see how you would do within your college classes. If we find that students could use a bit more support in the areas of math and English, then CUNY Start would be a great place to begin. And they can contact us, we can go through the process with them, and if they find that they're not eligible, we don't just leave you there. We help to connect you to our wonderful advisement units at the college, which will take really great care of you.
When we have a program such as this, I guess the big question is, how does it work on the back end? When you have students who've gotten their foot in the door, being able to stay in school, right? Retention rates, big. Talk to me about your retention rates with this program and how you've been able to hold students down.
I love that you asked that question because retention is the key, because we're just a strong start. I love to say start strong, stay strong, right? So it's not just about getting them through CUNY Start, but actually through the Bronx Community College experience to graduation day. In fact, we have an event coming up called Kudos Student Success Celebration. And with that, we have 92 students that have come through CUNY Start that will graduate this year. So what we do is, this year we innovated and have a new program called the Adult Learner Initiative. So in short, for 1 year after CUNY Start, we continue with the supports, we continue with the workshops and helping students. So we have a long-range goal for how to keep that support going. Students are facing so many, we're facing challenges, but students are facing so many challenges from poverty and all kinds of things, but they're fighting, they have a fighting spirit, and we're right there to not just end our relationship when they finish with CUNY Start, but to solidly place them into the next steps so they can last.
It seems like so long ago, but the reality is it wasn't so long ago when you talk about COVID, and we're still dealing with it, right? But not in the manner that we used to deal with it, thank God. Let me get to a question about how things adjusted for you, the work that you're doing, the program, given the fact that, we're in this, and I'm gonna say post-COVID, if you will, right? Well, let's pray, right? Post-COVID environment right now.
COVID absolutely traumatized the world, as we know, but it also brought some gifts to us and specifically to our program. So we didn't really have a strong online component before COVID, but now we do. We have hybrid classes where they're in person as well as there's an online proponent. So this helps us to be able to stretch. So for instance, for the adult learner that works 9 to 5, they wouldn't be able to come to campus necessarily during our traditional day classes, but they're evening classes with the majority of them online so they can access them. And this is what it's all about. So it's an open door instead of a closed door for those students.
And you talk about many challenges the students are facing, particularly when they make their way through the door. Can you just make some of our viewers aware of some of the things that you actually see when students are coming? And they have the best intention in mind, but they've got so many things to contend with, different than somebody who goes to a 4-year university sometimes.
Absolutely. Very often students are working, full-time as well as going to school full-time. They have families. These are wonderful blessings, but they also come with challenges. I think about one student who, we have a 9:30 a.m. class, and he works overnight at Montefiore Hospital. So he comes, he won't go home. He said, if I go home...
It's over. It's a wrap. That's what they say, yeah.
So he comes to campus, and our amazing instructors are there early, can do tutoring sessions, talk to the students. So that really is powerful. So we meet the student where they are, and that's very important. So if they're dealing with maybe they haven't developed the academic behavior, time management, work-life balance. So we have weekly seminars that speak to those issues. So it's not just shoving a subject down your throat, but really contextualizing an entire holistic experience. I call it like concierge care, where each person has an individualized care model that goes out to them.
So we just about out of time on this right here, but I want to ask the question about people that want to get involved and thinking about this. We already talked about criteria, and then also, what's the deadline?
Well, we have rolling admission. So we have summer classes that will be launching in June and July. And I submitted the information, so we can definitely talk more about that, as well as for fall classes. So we always are encouraging students to become involved. For those graduating high school seniors that finish, I think, June 25th, there's still time for them to get in on the July class, and they could become proficient this summer.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Pamela, the Eatman-Skinner. I've got it all.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate the time. Thank you so much
No,
for the
thank
opportunity.
you for the work that you're doing. I think it's important that, you know, people are afforded a good start.
Yeah.
And sometimes that little class that, you know, that you're offering, and I don't want to say little, but the little jump and the little push is just what somebody needs sometimes.
It goes
So
a
thank
long
you.
way.
Yeah, it does. It
Thank
really
you.
does. Thank you. All right, now listen, if you want more information, visit the website at bcc.cuny.edu. Also follow them on Instagram at CUNY_start_math and start_BCC. Don't go anywhere. We got more open coming up right after this. And welcome back. In 2014, freelance journalist James Jim W. Foley was captured in Syria and publicly beheaded by ISIS after being held hostage for nearly 2 years. Jim's mother, Diane Foley, has made it her life's mission to share her son's story and continue his legacy of moral courage. Joining us now is the mother, Diane Foley, and we thank you so much, Diane, for joining us and sharing with us. And how you doing?
I'm good, Daren. Thank you for your time today.
No, thank you, and thank you for actually taking the time to, you know, share the story, because your son's story was not just an American tragedy, an international tragedy, but as a mother, you vowed to take his life and his legacy and take it to another level.
Well, Jim challenged me. Jim was very passionate about journalism and wanted our country, fellow Americans, to know about what's happening in different parts of the world. So he dared to go there and bring stories home to us. So he's challenged me to find some good out of the tragedy we've experienced.
Yeah. For yourself, honestly, it was an arduous experience knowing that you had a loved one that's actually captured by international terrorists, and then having to do that negotiation piece. Talk to me a little bit about, you know, journalists, because we are on the front lines of a lot of things, but if you're a family member of a journalist, you know, that's one of the dangers of what could possibly be. And so for yourself, I know that you've done some work with families right now of journalists and those who have been on those front lines. And talk to me about the conversation that you're having.
Well, 3 weeks after Jim was killed, we started the James W. Foley Legacy Foundation to prioritize the return of innocent Americans who are targeted for kidnapping or wrongful detention abroad, and to promote journalist safety, particularly with aspiring journalists, and to inspire moral courage. So I was very challenged after Jim was killed to somehow find some way to use the tragedy for good for others. And since 2014, more than 100 innocent Americans have come home. And our country now has a hostage enterprise that works very hard to seek to free innocent Americans who are targeted abroad, like journalist Evan Gershkovich or Alsu Kurmashiva, both who have been targeted and wrongfully detained in Russia, along with Paul Whelan. And we have fellow Americans being held in China, in Iran, in Syria. So it's a continued national security challenge for our country. Yeah. And I want to make fellow Americans aware.
You know, we have a challenge when it comes to the hostage policy here in the United States, and I know a lot of people have had various different thoughts about that. Talk to me about your thought on the hostage policy here in the United States, and what can we as Americans actually do to raise our voice in cooperation with this?
Well, I would invite your listeners to read my book, American Mother, written with the help of Irish author Colin McCann. American Mother is a short book, but it's written to raise awareness of fellow Americans about the challenges we face as being targeted abroad. And our country since then has made strides. We now have a hostage enterprise who helps Americans be freed abroad, but it's still very difficult work. And the threat continues, and we need to work together with our Western partners to prevent hostage taking abroad, if you will.
Yeah. Your life has really, has taken shape since Jim's death, and you've really elevated the cause and made sure that his death wasn't in vain. As I talked about the book, you've also got all of the donations for the book going towards the foundation.
Well, a good portion of the donations do, but we always, as any small nonprofit, need the help of generous people who care about national security and fellow Americans who are being held hostage or wrongfully detained around the world. So I would invite any of your listeners to go to jamesfoleyfoundation.org to get a personalized copy of the book or to donate to our work. I so appreciate that, Daren.
Yeah. And we definitely will spread the word, and that's what we're doing right now is we're spreading the word. I want to go back for a moment because there was a critical part in this whole scenario. After Jim's death, I know that there was the court, and you had an opportunity actually to meet with one of your son's murderers in a court in Virginia. And if you could just go back for a moment, and I just wanted to ask you that moment, because I know that a lot of people talk about it. You talk about things in the book. But can you share with us a little bit about that moment? Was that a moment of closure? What was going on in that moment for you?
Well, it was kind of interesting. First of all, it took several years to find these two British jihadists who were responsible for kidnapping and torturing the 4 young Americans. But then to get them to the United States was also a lot of hard work by FBI and Scotland Yard. When they finally came to Virginia, one of them pleaded guilty to all 8 charges of kidnapping, torture, and accessory to murder. So that was Alexander Cody, and he also offered to meet with victims. So I did have the opportunity to meet with him 3 times. And it was healing in many ways. He expressed a lot of remorse. He listened to me tell him about Jim, and I tried to be open to listening to his reasons for entering ISIS and becoming part of all that the horror that ISIS inflicted on Syria and so many innocent people. Yeah. So part of it was good, though. I think we must find ways to talk to people we disagree with or hate, if you will, because hatred, everybody loses with hatred, Daren.
Yeah, indeed. You won't get me to doubt you on that one there. And thank you for sharing a little bit about that, because it demonstrates courage, strength, and also love and grace, which is something that so many people don't have in a day like today. What's the message that you have for people who find themselves in similar situations, families of journalists who are really out there on the front lines? We know that we've got a war going on right now, and anything is really liable to happen and can happen, and we've seen it happen. What's the message that you have for families out there of journalists about really just, having that right mindset?
Well, I'd like your listeners to value our brave journalists. I mean, if we don't know what's happening in the world, in our country, and how can we protect our own freedom and democracy? So I've come to really value brave journalists, journalists like yourself who help us know what's going on in the world. I think that's one thing. And I also would like your listeners to recognize that very ordinary people like myself can, in our small way, make a difference by choosing to dare to make a difference for others. That we need to use whatever gifts we have to have moral courage, to dare to do good and try to make a difference in this world. Everybody's needed in this world.
Indeed. Diane, it's been great talking to you. I'm going to talk to my producer because I want to talk to you some more, and we're going to have to find a way to bring it back, and we'll definitely get you to talk a little bit more about this because I think it's such a passionate topic that so many of us are not really talking about, but we do need to talk about. So Diane Foley, president and founder of the James W. Foley Legacy Foundation, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Daren, for your time. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you too. You take care now. Listen, if you want more information, visit the website, jamesfoleyfoundation.org, and don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more with Open right after this.
I remember when the Bronx did not really have a media outlet properly representing the people of the Bronx.
BronxNet provides for the community by being a community where people can be empowered to share their voices.
We are in a really great place technologically. We've got all the resources that we need to be effective.
Whether it's through cameras, storytelling, editing, we have provided those services for 30 years.
BronxNet's mission is to be a voice for the community.
To educate, to inform, and to inspire.
And you can be a part of it. We've built studios for you.
Well, I want you to know we are back in the Bronx Park East Farmers Market. I want you to know it's just not a place for fresh produce. It's a hub promoting wellness, raising health awareness, showing genuine care for community's well-being. And recently, they announced a new initiative to establish a full-season food scrap drop-off site at the market. What does that mean? We're going to find out right now. Joining us now is the executive director of the Farmers Market, manager, Uptown and Boogie Health Project, Judi. Thank you so much for being with us.
Hi.
How you doing?
Fine.
I would say it's warm outside. I know you're busy. You got things going. I'm trying to explain things to the people. I'm like, no, she's sitting right here.
Exactly.
She's going to break it down for us. But good to have you.
Thank you. Great
and
to
as I said, it is a busy time for you. So I want to get really and talk a little bit about the farmers market because it's grown.
Mm-hmm.
It's, started from the bottom. Now we're here, right?
Yes.
So talk about its progression, first of all.
Oh, well, we started in 21 as a farm stand in Bronx Park, in Pelham Parkway area. And the community reached out, Community Board 11, to seek more of a farmer's market with more vendors and more options. And 22 became a farmer's market. And since then, we've grown. In 23, we had a kids initiative where we gave $2 for each kid that came to the market to spend on fruits and vegetables. We also brought clothing drop-off. Last year in 23, we collected about, between Harlem and the Bronx Farmers Market, 14,000 pounds of textile. So we are always growing and adding more addition. And as I mentioned, in 24, we're bringing a full food scrap drop-off from June to November.
And so for somebody that doesn't know what that means, break it down for them in layman's terms.
Yeah, so we all know that we're dealing with budget cuts and concerns of having our food waste be used for giving people options besides reusable energy. They can choose for reactivating soil, a natural fertilizer to help grow the future sets of produce for our neighborhood and for our state. So what it's requiring is bring all of the onion peels and the carrot skins and, you know, all the things that you would normally throw into the landfill or into your trash. We're telling you bring that back so that we can process it, break it down to get it to a form that will be used for reactivating soil. We're doing this by partnering with community gardens who will also we'll distribute that scrap to that garden so they can activate the soil for their season's growing. And we're partnering with a micro hauler. This is this person who's an independent contractor that would pick up the food scraps, bring it upstate New York, where that organization will break it down for potting soil, growing soil, or just simply compost to give back to the community.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. When did you develop a heart for all of this?
So first Uptown Boogie was a bike advocacy organization where we spoke about just mental health with ridership throughout the Upper Manhattan and the Bronx area, and bringing awareness about that need and the infrastructure for the community. With that, I learned from many cyclists that food was an issue, healthier food, trying to find ways to provide stamina for their ride. And it got me to look at farmers markets and food. We would lead bike rides at farmers markets and notice dramatic difference in the way the riders had endurance for more than 10-mile rides. And learning about the food, I also started becoming curious about food scrapped and food waste, because I was looking at the market. I'm like, where's all this food going? And in 2017, I enrolled in a master composting class at Snug Harbor in Staten Island that helped me learn about composting and what food waste and food waste justice is like, especially in New York City. That led me to be part of a community garden and learning how to process it and break it down, putting what I learned into practice. Noticed that the harvest at William B. Washington Memorial Garden in Harlem was plentiful, successful. We watched the soil grow even throughout the pandemic. So yeah, we were processing even throughout the pandemic. Yes, we were still processing and collecting food scraps. Wow. This is a request that many people who came to the farmers market after, like about 21 or 22, about what do they do with their food scraps. And that mainly was members who are part of our community supported agriculture program, where they receive a weekly farm box or a box of mixed produce from a farmer, and they wanted to know what next to do with their produce. Right. And we piloted that program. It was successful at the market. We collected 300 pounds a week, and we only did the program for 4 weeks with really no promotion. It was just like setting up, and people came. So we started seeing this, people became more aware, more hyper-focused about the environment and understanding what we're going through.
Yeah, I want to get there because when you talk about being hyper-focused, I think that, that was not always the case in our community, right?
Yes.
Really was, I'm just throwing my stuff out, do what I do. Maybe I don't throw my stuff out. Maybe there's some littering going on, right? Yeah. But now it's almost like you've introduced people to a whole new world. Talk to me about the receptivity within the community of really taking on something that they probably didn't understand, but now have got a lot more knowledge to it.
Yes. First is where your food come from.
Right.
When I started the farm stand in 21 in front of my community garden, St. Nicholas Miracle Garden, a lot of people were like, oh, what's so different about this food? Da-da-da. And I would say, this is organic practicing farmers and the food tastes great. Trust me, it's delicious, it's amazing. Right. And probably after a month, some people came back and was like, food was pretty good, you know. I was like, I'll get a couple of more carrots, you know. And I was like, your food tasting good. You're tasting the difference. And seeing that reaction. Also bringing in produce that people didn't know. So we had from various generations that would look at an item and go, I've never seen this. How do you cook it? What do you do with it? What is it good for? And also people would come in June and say, where are the tomatoes? I'm like, July, August. So it was also understanding when things are in season and the longevity of that produce, because we dealt with a lot of like flooding, well, the farmers dealt with a lot of flooding and rain, and some farmers are like relocating their farm and their layouts of their crop because of like, you know, they're losing a lot of their crops. So a lot of people would come to me and say, oh, do you still have carrots, or do you still have corn? I'm like, no, you know, the farmer had a lot of flooding, lost a lot of the seedlings. And so we starting to see that change, especially when you talk to farmers about how they're now looking at regenerative ways of just growing, because we're starting to see like the loss of crop and an increase of crop insurance, you know, and so a lot of people started to understand that when I come to the market and when they talk to the farmer. I even show videos of flooding at some farmlands to people and say, this is why we don't have corn. Oh, wow. Yeah, so we, a lot of people have talked to us and just asked us, you know, they want to eat healthy, they're juicing and what they should do. And we have cooking demos at the market to help people understand how to use the produce right at the market. So a lot more people are just welcoming more options and seeking more ways. Yeah.
And well, I want to talk about seeking ways. I want to talk about this because farm stand season is right here now.
Yes.
So I want to make sure we get it out to our viewers to let them know where they can go. And because June is right around the corner.
Oh, yes, it is. So I want to say we now have 3 farmers markets as of 2024. Yes, thank you. In 21, we start Bronx Park East. That returns June 2nd. We are Sunday Market. We're going until November 24th. The next market was started in 23 is Uptown Good Food Farmers Market, which was in Harlem. That starts June 1st, Saturdays, from June 1st to November 23rd. And we're excited to announce this year, Williamsbridge White Plains Road Farmers Market is coming. That is the 2-5 train subway stop at Gun Hill Road and White Plains Road. We are now reactivating a space. With this space, we're bringing farmers market in one plaza and information and kid zones in another. Now, that other means that we are now part of DOT's open streets. So we are one of 12 Bronx open streets and the first of East Bronx to have an open street. So we're excited about that.
Major things.
Yes.
Major things. Did you ever see yourself taking off like this? I mean, obviously, you're just doing the work. But did you see this happening?
No, I didn't. It was there's sometimes you don't know if people are seeing what you're doing. And you're just getting what you can done. And when people reach out and say, you know, I see you bring this into communities. Can you bring it to mine? And I'm like, maybe. Let's talk. And so we have community boards now coming together to help build the farmers market. We're asking city council members to support the farmers markets that are coming into their community or future markets that are coming in to support, because we still need that funding to keep it going. Especially on the administrative side, we're growing where we're hiring people. So we're asking people to come to our website, sign up. We're looking for farmers market managers and youth coordinators. So we're growing not only in market, but in seasonal staff.
Judi Desiree, glad to have you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome to see the growth
Yes.
And then also taking care of the community in a way where we got food insecurity that's huge.
Yeah.
And we also fill in the gap, taking care of the environment.
Yes.
You're doing it all, girl.
Thank
you. See you later. All right, listen, if you want more information, go ahead and visit the website at WPRmarket.com. Don't forget, June, the farm stand starts. So don't go anywhere. We got more coming up right after this.
So BronxNet is a great place for anyone to come to if you're looking to learn how to get yourself in the door, how to get your toes wet, if you will, when it comes to media, when it comes to editing. And I would definitely recommend it to anyone who really is interested in, learning how to work, whether it's in studio production, whether it's field production, whether it's learning how to operate a camera, whether it's learning how to interview and host. This is the place for you to be. This is the place for you to sort of get your feet wet and be amongst other creatives here in the Bronx who are also trying to learn and develop their own content.
Thank you, BronxNet. Congratulations on 30 years. What an amazing accomplishment. On behalf of myself, Alina Dow, and I represent the Dow Twins and the Dow Twins Show, who are young producers. They started, I think, when they were 11, and now they're 14. They started making 30-second little fun facts, and now they are doing 30-minute shows. And it goes to a testament of how much you guys do in the Bronx to make young people want to continue to be involved. I wish you 30 more amazing years and beyond. Thank you for what you do.
And we are back with Mother's Day just around the corner. It is time to celebrate the special women in our lives with gifts, blending comfort as well as style, and sharing now some insider tips, some must-have gifts to make mom's extra day special. We've got lifestyle expert Carmen Ordonez, and we thank you so much for being with us.
Hi, Daren. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, 'tis the season. I'm glad to have you. And yes, there are people out there that are looking to say, listen, I want to make Mother's Day very special in the life of my mom or that special person. And we need to know what's trending now.
Absolutely. Well, some of the biggest trends right now is loungewear sets, anything that helps mom feel comfortable, but pieces that are also versatile. For example, pieces that can help her easily transition from a workout, from being at home to out and about, because, us moms, we're always busy, we're always on the go. So that is a really big trend we're seeing. And, I think it'll make any mom happy.
So when I'm out there shopping for Mother's Day gifts, as many of us will be out there doing, what are we doing in terms of finding that much needed gift? Some things I should probably be keying on. What should I be paying attention to?
Absolutely. Well, I think it's important to keep in mind pieces that combine both comfort and style. For example, Shein has some amazing options at affordable prices. And one of the things that I love the most about Shein is their incredible variety. I mean, they're known for having the latest, most fashionable trends, from essentials to accessories to standout pieces that are perfect for Mother's Day. And it's not just the diversity of their collection, their prices are also fantastic. So you're gonna be able to find something that not only feels personalized and special, but it won't break the bank. Plus, you can also shop on their app. Super easy. It's actually one of the most downloaded fashion apps. And here we have a few examples. Like this 3-piece loungewear set that would make a really great gift for mom. This one comes with a stylish tank top, a snuggly coat, as well as comfy pants. It comes in 7 different colors. And again, this is something that mom can easily wear while lounging around the house and then going to run some errands afterwards. Or how about this seamless yoga set? This is one of my favorites. I mean, the quality is amazing. It's thick, but it's also comfortable. It comes with this ribbed knit tank top, as well as these shorts that have tummy control, which I'm sure us moms can appreciate. And again, this is something that mom can easily wear to get in her workout and then throw a little sweater over it or a blazer, and she's ready to go.
We talk about prioritizing comfort and style. And so how does one really go about that effectively if I'm out there shopping? What should I be looking at?
Well, again, I think it's really looking for pieces that have comfort, but they're also stylish. So maybe looking for clothing that has a little bit of stretch to it. That's a really great option, things to keep in mind. And then also keeping in mind what mom's daily routine is like. For example, if she's active, if she likes more to relax at home, and then you can take it from there.
Yeah. So for yourself, obviously, you're a lifestyle expert. As we approach Mother's Day, how have things changed in terms of the gifts that we give? I mean, we're talking about comfort and style this year. We weren't always talking about that.
Yes, I mean, I think now we're really focusing on, just finding ways for us to be comfortable at home, especially since many of us work from home now. We do so much from home. And so I think that's what really plays an important role in this trend that we're seeing, finding pieces that are not only comfortable, but you're also feeling stylish. Because at the end of the day, we're moms. We also want to look our best, even if we're home, so there's a really easy way to do that, and you're going to find comfort and style, and Shein has lots of great options to do that.
Yeah, I think one of the things people are saying, listen, I need some affordable finds, during this time of year, especially if you're out there, and you've got multiple people to buy gifts for. Finding that affordable find can really just make all the difference in the world, huh?
Yes, definitely. And let's say if you're also looking for pieces, moving from, comfort and style, let's say if you want to find something, to go out to brunch, or you have a nice dinner planned with your family, Shein has lots of great options to really help mom feel and look their best. For example, this dress is absolutely beautiful. It combines the lace with the pleated hemline, which really gives it that sophisticated look. Again, mom can easily wear this, going out to dinner. This comes in 3 beautiful colors, in black, in red, also pink, like we see here. But the best part is Shein also has matching outfits for tweens and kids. So if you want to match with your little ones, you can easily do that, and in a way that's affordable, which I think is also very important.
Yeah, I think everybody says affordable is good. We like affordable, especially in a day like today. You've got something blue on the hanger. Talk to me about that too, right behind you.
Yeah, these are the yoga sets that I mentioned, that has the tummy control. And again, really easy for mom to put that on, go get her workout in, and then transition to her daily routines.
And the reason I ask that is because when we talk about that, we have more and more moms, I guess, really looking at fitness as a whole, and really being involved in the exercise game.
Yes, and not only that, but you're also running after, if you have small kids, like me, I'm running after my little ones. So I need something, like workout. Even if you're not working out, you could still wear something like this to, get the kids from school, pick them up from school, take them to soccer practice, and, you still look stylish, and it's also active and comfortable.
So for yourself, final tips that you want to share if you're out there thinking, getting ready for Mother's Day, trying to make the most of it, what do you want our viewers to know?
Of course. Well, an easy way, again, you can download that Shein app. It's going to make your life so easy, very easy to navigate. Or you can also head to Shein.com. You'll be able to find all these pieces that I shared with you, plus lots and lots more.
Well, Carmen, I want to thank you so much for sharing with us, and it's been great having you. Thanks so much for being with us.
No, of course. Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure.
And the big thing, happy Mother's Day, too.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, have a happy Mother's Day. Listen, well, I want to let you know we are coming to the end of our show today. Want to thank all of our guests for joining us. Most of all, you, the viewer, for tuning in. Now, if you missed any part of today's show, you can catch Recablecast on Optimum's Channel 67, Verizon Files Channel 2133, or watch us anytime on the web, BronxNet.org. You can catch a brand new episode of Open with Rita Valentine, my girl, on Friday, Café con Leche, and she'll tell you that right then on Friday. So listen, that about wraps up for this episode. I am Daren Jaime saying make sure, keep this channel wide open. We say take care, God bless. We'll see you soon.